Good evening guys, Max115 here. Welcome back to another episode of Boom Beach. The first thing you're going to notice here in my base is that I will have to retract whatever I said yesterday on yesterday's video about having a center base because it just did not work out. I mean, less than 24 hours I got raided about 7 or 8 times, which is pretty brutal considering that I'm trying to push and I'm in top 10 global. So I had no choice but to switch into a corner base. And since I put down the corner base, I have been raided 1 time, so I have serious doubts about how effective this laser beam is working out for me. The other reason is because my particular layout, I designed it myself. I kind of shuffle things left and right, and what in my head I think will work best, but maybe not the best. Maybe I should just copy come back space. I don't know, but we'll see. I'm kind of feeling iffy about the laser beam for myself, even though I personally struggle with laser beams. But I don't know. For some reason I really feel like the double shield base worked out better for me. So let's see. We'll trial it out. You know, we'll just leave it at this corner layout for a little while, and then we'll see what happens in the next few days. But as you guys can see, I'm not able to catch up to the VP that I had yesterday, which was 1790. I'm only at 1788. In fact, 2 victory points less than where I was yesterday, and that's because like I said, I got raided so many times. But anyways, the point of the video was for me to show you guys attacks, and as you guys can see, I have failed many times, but at the same time I have pretty decent a couple of pretty decent raids. So let's start right here with Kuro TOA. First base, I am going for full boost, as you can expect with my 4 offensive statues. This first base, I think he had 5 ice statues. Masterpiece is boosted, and that's really loud. Wow. Let me just lower that volume just a little bit more. So there we go. Okay, so again, this layout is really popular, and you'll see more of this in this very video along with the past video. So it seems like everybody likes to have the layout where they have the HQ right in the front of the base, and then they put the shield generator all the way on the left. I don't know why the left side, nobody has it on the right side for some reason, but anyhow. As usual, I tried attacking this base from the right side, from where this flamethrower was. It did not work out, so I decided to go the other way because I needed to take down the shield generator. Let me just pause for 1 quick second. The reason why it did not work on this side is because of this cluster of buildings in here. It looks like a lot of free gunboat energy, but it actually it deters and it distracts your troops from attacking defenses. So once the troops, once you smoke the troops next to this flamethrower, once they start clearing up defenses, they'll start moving backwards onto these economy buildings, leaving room for all these big defenses to just shoot at you and kill all of my troops. That's why I had to go on the left side this time. Now, we'll just resume. Things are going to happen very quickly because the smoke just wore out. I threw a pack of critters. You guys can see them right next to the HQ. And 2 shocks are going to come in very fast. Right about there. 2 shocks on the laser beam, mortar, rocket launcher, and flamethrowers. More critters in the middle to distract the last mortar, and the 2 shot launchers in front of the HQ rather, and then just let my troops kind of spread out, try to do as much damage as they could. I was waiting for that shock blaster to come down, and as soon as it did, I flared all the way behind the trees, threw a smoke obviously to try to protect some of my troops. I was really tempted to throw a second smoke, but I couldn't afford it. I had absolutely no gunboat energy. You guys can probably see those ice statues in the back boosted. So I didn't have to throw 1 medkit because I think I only had like 2 or 3 medics left out of the 5, and you know, 1 flamethrower just spitting at your rifles is detrimental. So as soon as the shield generator went down, I flared them all the way to the right side. Well, not all the way, somewhat in the middle. If the angle is really steep, I had a feeling that they were going to walk within the range of this boom cannon, which is not something I wanted. But once they got there, oh no, I had all 5 of my medics. Look at that. Alright, never mind. But then this was the fun part, starting to collect all the gunboat energy from all these buildings. Even though it looks like there was a lot of buildings, after I collected all of it, I was only able to afford, I think, like maybe 2 shocks and 1 pack of critters. We'll see those in a minute once we get there. I was lucky because I attacked this base several times, and this was the one time where I got this many troops surviving the initial assault, because it was just, you know, brutal once everything starts shooting at you, especially when the smoke's clear out. So this was the luckier attack, and as the troops were starting to move into the base here, then I threw a pack of critters mainly to distract the shot launchers, and then I was waiting as long as I could right there to throw the shot bomb on the shot launcher and then just let my troops kind of start moving in. I wanted to reflare towards the center as I usually do, but then I hesitated, and once again I had to change tactics and adjust midway through the attack, and I decided don't flare, just let the troops move in naturally, because they were pretty spread out, and heavy Zooka works best when they're really spread out. And right there, because the shield generator was already down and the HQ was exposed, it wasn't a big deal, so that worked out pretty well. That was a really fun attack once it worked out, but when it doesn't work out, it's very frustrating, really. So that was Kuro TOA's base, and you guys can see how many times I tried his base here, whole bunch of times. A couple of them were gunboat energy, but mainly most of them were just regular losses. Next base here, can't read the name, 1333 victory points, 5 ice statues, 4 of them boosted. So this base actually had more ice. Ooh, we got a comment there. Had more ice than the previous one, except the only thing is that the previous one had the laser beam in front of the HQ and the 3 rocket launchers behind the HQ, which kind of doesn't really work very well for RZCM. So in this one it's easier because all the defenses are behind the HQ, so that's why I'm able to attack. And notice that I'm attacking from the right side, which is where I usually attack from. So we took down one of the rocket launchers, pre-smoked the beach because of the shot launchers and the rockets. So we had to pre-smoke and then smoke them all the way in front of that weapons lab. So that would position us right in the sweet spot between the 2 rocket launchers and the laser beam. So we just wait for those for the smoke to clear, and then as usual we're gonna time the critters and a couple of strategic shocks right there. Critters, 2 shocks to freeze the 2 rocket launchers, the 2 flamethrowers, and the laser beam, more importantly. So right there, the troops are exploding out, a lot of things shooting around, and you guys can see what I meant from the first wave. A lot of the troops are already going for the economy buildings behind, right here on the shore, rather than focusing on the defenses. But yet again, I did not want to reflare, and you guys know me, because if you reflare with so many things shooting at you, it's just your troops are just basically sitting ducks. As soon as the last rocket launcher went down, that's when I threw the flare all the way to the back. Again, lucky that I had a lot of troops remaining, so that really worked out well. And man, these medics, I got really annoyed because I only have 5 medics. I lost one of them on my way up to the base, and now these 3 are just having like a healing party in there. I threw out a smoke. It was just a waste of gunboat energy. Smokes were costing me like 9 GBE at this point, which was ridiculous, but I kind of didn't want to let go of those medics. But I only have 1 medic left in here, which wasn't doing much, and then I had all this stuff in here, the 2 flamethrowers and machine guns with all their heat coming in. So I really wanted to save the 3 medics, but then look at them just healing themselves like dumbasses. It's just so irritating. And then at one point I was like, screw it, I'm not gonna worry about them, I need to focus on the raid. And then here, just let the troops go in. I did have to throw the medkit because I didn't have the medic, obviously. The medkit really did well. And then the second flamethrower right there, I didn't have enough for another medkit, couldn't afford it, so I just kind of let some of my rifles die, let the Zookas take care of it. Then I reflared towards the shield generator, and as soon as that thing went down, then we are going to just farm a little bit more because I needed just as much GB as possible. Right there, 2 more economy buildings, and then we reflare behind the HQ. I know these are pretty long attacks actually, because there's a lot of flaring and reflaring, and then having the troops walk from side to side on the base. But I think, well, I personally really enjoy these attacks, so I hope you do also. And right here, as we're approaching the base, that's when we throw a pack of critters to distract as much as possible. And I think I was holding off from 1 shock bomb, if I remember correctly. I was waiting as long as possible, right to the last second before I shot it on one of the shot launchers. And from here on, I was golden. I had a lot of troops shooting at the HQ, 1 medkit, and because there was no shield generator, that HQ came down relatively fast. But not bad. I mean, 5 ice statues, 4 of them boosted. That's quite a lot of ice, at least in my opinion. Although that's what I see every day anyways. But that was a pretty good attack. And then tying Nox. I think that's how you say it. What was this base? Oh, this was the easiest base of the night. We'll just go 2 times the speed because there's really not too much strategy. He had 3 ice and none of them were boosted. So obviously it was actually a pretty easy base. So I kind of wanted to try something fun in here, so I took down one of the rocket launchers on the left side and then flared them all the way up next to the mortar behind the 2 remaining rocket launchers. Lost a few medics in the landing there, along with a couple of Cryoneers, I think. And then typical as always, critters, a couple of shocks, let the troops kind of spread out. And then let's just start going on all directions in a circle pretty much, because there were defenses all around us. Once all the big defenses went down as usual, then I flare all the way to the back. Oh, I'm sorry, this base had 5 eyes. There were 2 more guardians in here. But then again, none of them were boosted, so it wasn't a big deal. Farming GBE at this point before we reflare towards the generator. Once they took it down, I wanted to farm that one sniper tower that was under construction there, and then kind of just let the troops move down naturally. I really didn't have a plan at this point. I was, oh god, my troops are running thin, I don't have GBE for anything, I'm just gonna throw critters on the HQ and then let my Zookas just do the job. But then I really thought I was gonna lose at one point, and really the only reason why I was able to defeat the base in the end is because he wasn't boosted and I was going full boost, so I got lucky really. Otherwise, this was actually a pretty messy attack, but thank God I got it on the first try, so that's all I needed. So that was Ty's base. Now the 2 next bases after that, these were my favorite attacks. These were heavy Zooka attacks. I'm comeback style, thanks to him. So the first base here have 5 ice statues, all 5 of them boosted, quite an gnarly base. So I took down the mortar and machine gun next to the HQ. That was going to be my designated kill zone at the end. We went with a 3-5 ratio, so 3 bolts of heavies, 5 bolts of Zookas, kind of put them all down in the corner and then flare them all the way towards the top of the base, the top left, and you guys will see all of those ice statues behind those trees when the troops get there. So there we can see 3 of them. Yeah, 3 of them, all of them boosted. I can't really click on them, that's funny. Okay, and the last 2 statues right there. So 5 ice statues, all 5 of them boosted. At this point, just kind of let my heavy shield as much as possible. And oh, I'm sorry, what am I saying? I went with 4 bolts of heavies for this attack. The next attack is where I went with 3-5. So correction, I take that back, I'm sorry guys. So anyways, just let the troops take down as many buildings as possible. Look, there's so much red going on, but I didn't really want to waste the med kit on there just yet. Reflare all the troops to the corner. It looks messy, but it worked out. And then flare them to the kill zone, and then just throw smokes very quickly and as precise as possible. 5 smokes cost me a lot of GBE, but well worth it, I'd say. You know, as long as the base comes down, right? So right there, let the troops gather out while the smokes are about to clear out, and then we're just gonna flare straight to the HQ, put some critters, and then shock all the strategic buildings. So you guys can see the critters are doing a great job of distracting the rocket launcher and the shot launcher here, while the Zookas are just blasting at that HQ really beautifully. I mean, I really like these attacks because they're so precise and they just worked out so well at the end. Wonderful attack. I mean, these are the ones that I feel really proud of once I pull them off. Although what you guys don't see, I mean, you see the one that worked out and you're like, wow, that's a great attack. But Steffi 2004, look how many times it took me to get that right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 tries, got him on the 11th try. So, you know, quite a lot of attacks. Same thing from my land spade. Looks like we tried about 8 or 9 times. Similar tactic. This is a base where I went with 3-5 because this one had 5. Same thing, 5 ice statues, all 5 of them boosted, but this time he had a laser beam going on. So I put the troops in the same fashion on the corner. We took down 2 of the economy buildings. Up here there were 2 storages. I think it was like iron and wood storage, I believe. Gathered a little bit of GB in the front before we flare next to the HQ, relatively close to the HQ, and then just kind of, as usual, smoke all of my troops, nice and careful. I did lose a couple of Zookas along the way, but you know what are you gonna do, right? Nothing can be perfect. It's not like I'm comeback, right? He wouldn't have lost any Zookas on the way up there. You can see all these ice statues right here, all of them boosted. Right there we go, flare straight to the shield generator, get the heavies to distract everything, throw another smoke while the Zookas do the 1 shot, and then 2 smokes very quickly, along with the reflare. Everything happens simultaneously, so you have to work really fast, and I played with both of my thumbs. Right there, let them gather at the kill zone, and as soon as the smoke clears out, flare, critters, and a couple of strategic shots on the big defenses, and then just kind of let the Zookas blast around. More critters. This pack of critters, I kind of realized I deployed them on the wrong space, in the wrong spot, because you guys saw that laser beam. Just the second the laser beam came out of the shot and it shot out, that beam was actually gonna cut through my Zooka. So I really should have put the critters either a little bit more up or a bit more south, I suppose. But who cares? It worked out pretty well, right? So that was my last base. And then the last base here, where I got a crystal, which was pretty sweet. This was a pretty tricky base. Another one of these front bases, 4 ice statues, all of them boosted. And then this one had the laser beam in front of the HQ, which really throws me off, really. So this time I took down the rocket launcher on the left. What did help me is that he only had 1 defensive building damage, even though it was boosted, but it was just 1, so it's not like he had insane damage. So I was able to afford to leave 2 of the rocket launchers standing along with the laser beam. Pre-smoke the beach, obviously, at a slight angle, and then double smoke towards the end there. Just let them all gather up. Medics getting killed as usual. And well, the important thing is not to panic, right? And just keep on trying. So, right, oh man, the medic, oh, there he goes. So critters, and then 1 shock to distract everything. Let the Zookas just explode out and try to take out as many defenses as possible. More critters for the rocket launcher that was remaining and the shot launcher that was over there on the left side. And then I was just focused and kept my eye on the laser beam. I could not afford that thing to fire up, so I just kept my eye on it and kept on shocking it whenever I needed to. Right there goes another shot. I missed the shot launcher, unfortunately. The troops are really spreading out. A little bit too much for my liking, but nothing I can do. Right there. Another shot. That was like my 4th shock already. But now the Zookas are actually moving into the base towards the HQ, and a couple of them are finally going to position themselves to take down the laser beam. Laser beam did take 1 shot, but I was fortunate enough to have enough GB for another shot bomb. And sorry, I kind of like froze there. And then right there goes down the laser beam goes down, thank goodness. And I had a good amount of troops. They already wrapped around the HQ, and with only 1 mortar, 1 shot launcher, and 1 boom cannon shooting at me, it wasn't a big deal. I had a lot of troops. Threw the medkit just to prolong the life, the health of those rifles, and then the Zookas down here will finish off the HQ. So that worked out pretty well. This base was really tricky. It took me a lot of tries actually to get it right, but I'm just glad it finally came down. So yeah, I think actually some of these attacks, in my opinion, were actually pretty good. I cannot believe that I came out with the means to beat them with only 4 offensive statues, but you know, that's how the game goes. Alright guys, so leave me a comment down below, tell me what you think. Hopefully this helps some of you guys to do some of your attacks with whether Heavy Zooka or RZCM. I know it's been a lot of these 2 combos recently, and I haven't been able to do like TRM or Grenadiers. I never use Warriors or Scorchers, but that's because I don't have the statue support that I need for those troops. Once we're finished with this particular push, which actually I think is going to happen soon, maybe I'll make 1800 victory points my last goal, because there are things in my personal life that need to be taken care of, and I can't do it while I'm so focused on the game. So we'll see. We'll probably keep on pushing for a couple more weeks at most, but you know what? In the meantime, we'll just have fun. So yeah, hopefully the channel is helping some of you guys, or hopefully you guys are enjoying the videos. This is what it looks like when you're pushing on the leaderboard. Okay guys, so leave me a comment down below, and I'll see you guys next time. Max 2015. Bye.